person that's going to get like a little teary-eyed at that game?
Well, no, I don't know. I'm kind of proud of it. You know, it's an accomplishment. You know, and I've been pretty fortunate to have good health and a lot of luck, and no missed flights or stuff like that. You know, I came close in 2001 when my daughter was born. Maddie was born on December 28th, and thank God we played the Sugar Bowl. We actually that game we almost went to the Rose Bowl that year, and everything worked out.
What are you planning for Saturday? I mean, you have
nothing big, just a typical day. I don't know what my wife's got planned, but and we do a regular tailgate thing.
Yeah. So when you first started this, was it like a game here, like sitting here one game, sitting here another?
Well,
game?
yeah. I mean, actually, when I was little, when I first started going to LSU games, my Uncle Mitchell had he loved box seats. We used to sit on the east side, about the 35-yard line of the box seats, and because he didn't want to have to walk far, we parked right there, and it was good. And then years later, when Uncle Mitchell got too old to go to the games, and my brother Jack took the ticket and said, "We move it up." So we moved up in the stand a little bit higher, Then it was pretty funny,
The road trips are where it's obviously challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with this. Favorite SEC place to go? Because you've been to them all.
Yeah, numerous times.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite trips, Kentucky. For some reason, Kentucky was always for scenery. I like racehorses. You go to Keeneland racetrack. You go to Kentucky Horse Park. I mean, it's beautiful. And we used to fly up there, and I drove. I've been all kinds of different ways. And sometimes we'd make a little extended weekend out of it. But Kentucky was a good trip, and luckily, just a couple of years ago, we played there, and I drove my wife and daughter up there. It was their first time there.
Is one of the SEC trips not really your favorite, but you go to keep the streak?
Yeah, some of them are hard. Arkansas used to be better. I liked it better when it was in Little Rock because it was like 2 hours closer. Now we got to go to Fayetteville, and Fayetteville's kind of a pain to get to. It's 9 hours. It's a 9-hour drive. But we fly up there, we drive. We'll go anywhere possible.
And you've never gotten tired of it. Like it's not a chore ever.
I look forward to. Oh yeah, I look forward to it. It's funny what you're saying is chore. I remember the dark days of Curly Home, and like 89, 90, the 6 year losing streak, and that was difficult. I was even making games by myself. My son Mickey was little at the time. Mickey was like in single digits, and he would tell me he didn't want to go to the game. I said that's how bad it was. Curly Home, and thank God for Jerry Donato. He brought us back.
A single game you remember most on the road, or two or three, best road trips ever?
Yeah, I tell you, like Seattle was great. We went to Seattle, played Washington, and I've been up there before on previous, just vacationing. And that was really neat because we hooked up, we did a sailgate. My buddies in Baton Rouge put a deal together, and we were on a boat, and we just cruised up and down Lake Washington. And that was really neat. An LSU game is a bucket list game. Like it's a must. Hey, I want to go see an LSU game. If I wasn't an LSU fan, it would be in my bucket list game. And my daughter made a sign up that I put on my thing. We call it the Tiger Mafia, and for the Italians. And I got more people stopped by my tailgate, and I had these like 4 young guys, like college kids from New York that came by, and they said, "Man, we love your sign. We're Sicilian and all this stuff." And I said, "What are y'all doing here? Y'all go to LSU?" They go, "No, we just wanted to come to experience. We wanted to come experience tailgate in Baton Rouge, LSU game." And I'd see a lot of people like that. One time this was like a few years ago, 10 years ago. They had these guys walking by tailgating, and it was like a group of 6 or 8 guys, and they were all wearing T-shirts, and the T-shirt had Billy Cannon in the Heisman, like that famous pose he's got, And we start talking. I said, "Y'all want a beer, beer, something to eat?" And we start talking, and I told the guy, I said, man, I like those shirts. I mean, he said, yeah, I designed that, and that was our trip, because we go to one road game a year. This was our bucket list game. And the more I'm talking to the guy, I said, you know what? I said, hey, man, you like Billy Cannon? Yeah. I said, you want to talk to him? I pulled my phone up, I called Billy. And he put, Billy talked to him for a while. I said, where are you going to find that? Where are you going to do stuff like that at?